And now, making his way to the El Chingon Bistro red corner, representing the Easton Training Center, Denver, you have Jamie Mullin. Mullin coming out to the signature song of the Super Jew Micah Haas, who Micah Haas will be fighting out there on a card out there. Micah's a local fighter in the Denver scene. Right now is an undefeated flyweight prospect out there, but this is the song that he typically comes out to, and the kid is singing and dancing the entire way to the cage, and I love to see that energy being brought here today. Jamie Mullin will be taking on Chase DeGrood. Chase represents Factory X. He's got that X on his chest. He is coming to the Colorado Tattoo Convention and Expo Blue Corner. Now, Chase was probably the one who might have stood out to a lot of people at weigh-ins yesterday, because he's the only guy completely suited and booted. By day job, he's a corporate attorney. By night, he's a grappler.
Yeah, so this guy's pretty much Batman over here, okay? He's grappling at night and he puts a suit on in the morning. You like to see it. This is going to be a great match.
I've trained a lot with Chase through the years. You know, I know that for this matchup, he's put in a lot of work trying to prepare for all of the elements that are going to be presented here in the cage. He does have some judo in his background as well as some wrestling, but he just spent a lot of time with some of our students at Factory X in building up his experience to try to be able to work off of the wall and know what the fence is going to feel like.
It's a factor. The fence is a different factor. If you're not prepared for it, you're not trained for it, it'll change the outcome of the match.
Well, and go figure, a guy who has such a high level of success in regular life and going through becoming an attorney, being a former collegiate rugby player, going to Wake Forest, all of these high-level things in the process. Imagine that, he had the foresight to plan in advance. Because he told me when he took the matchup, the last thing that he wanted to do was experience what the fence felt like during competition.
Yeah, you don't want any feelings to be new when you're in that cage. You don't want to experience something for the first time in the cage.
Chase tried for the arm drag immediately right off the rip, but well defended by Mullin. Strong wizard from Chase. Blocks the toss attempt. Chase is going to look for his own throw here.
Yeah, the cage seems to be in the way, but it looks like he's trying to roll under for a leg attack here.
Chase being cornered right now by James Hardy and Chad Klingensmith. Fun fact for you folks, Chad has a victory over Benson Henderson in the MMA cage in their early days. Now you have the opportunity to start to stand up if you're Mullin. Yep, exactly. I was going to say that knee is down to the mat, start to work up the fence. Big throw from Chase.
Huge throw.
Chase has one hook in, looking to secure this back position.
100%. It's patience here. He has to be patient. He's in a good position. He could slip out. He could lose it. You have to work for the hooks here. You have to start working to go get those hooks and take the back.
I like that, though, overall, even though he lost the hooks, he's still working to just control the hips.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in these moments where you're preaching patience, having some of just the hip right alone, that's going to help and potentially open up. But now Chase is getting a little bit high, being that Mullin was starting to hit that tripod position. Mullin goes back down to one knee in the process. Chase's hips are still a little bit high here in this. Chase going to make the adjustment, trying to readjust for the choke. Chase only has one boot in.
I think he got that.
He initially had the rear naked setup, but only one boot in. Not going to be the highest chance to finish. But good wrist right in the process from Chase, trying to secure that hook over. But, I mean, you have to give credit to the defense as well. Strong reverse half from Chase here, being able to control the position by keeping the head of Jamie Mullin down against the mat. Now, some of what that does, folks watching at home, keeping the pressure on the head is, A, it's going to be completely uncomfortable if you're the person on the bottom of it, but if you produce a hard action from that bottom position, the person on top has multiple different things that they can transition to from that spot, as we saw from Chase being able to continue to work through. But now his leg is in danger. He's able to get back to a more advantageous defensive angle, but certainly not out of jeopardy. You could talk us through this position here, Justin.
Yeah. Chase did exactly what he should have done. He stood right up. He put the weight on the foot. He's doing a really good job not letting him get the connection to the hips. If he gets the connection to the hips, then he can start working his attacks, but he has zero connection to the hips, so he's going to lose it. He might be able to get that inverted.
Chase is able to pop his head out.
Yeah, that was really close. If he was able to invert for that triangle, he's going to try and bring that bottom knee through. Really good job pinning his arm to the mat.
Cradle here from Chase to Grood. Mullin is doing a good job of defending a lot of these attacks here from Chase. Chase just is a step ahead on the board right now.
Yeah, I agree. Mullin, he is doing a really good job defending, but Chase is doing a great job not allowing him to get posture. For you to be able to work your escapes and start scrambling back to positions you're comfortable, you need to find a way to get posture, and Chase has been controlling his hips and controlling the posture the majority of the match here, which makes it extremely difficult for him to get back to his guard and start working his attacks.
And just like that, we are through 5 minutes of regulation. And as we prepare for overtime, we will see Chase to Grood take the back of Jamie Mullin.
Yeah, what we need to see from Jamie here is urgency. He needs to be very, very urgent here on getting his back to the mat.
Chase is going to start to try to turn around for this armbar attempt here. And now transitioning back to the triangle. Good effort of getting both arms back in, though, by Jamie Mullin. I mean, that's always the talk, right? 2 in, 2 out.
Yep. That's the battle there. That's the battle, and he did a good job fighting that battle. And there's one.
And a beautiful armbar attempt here from Chase.
Elbow to the mat, though, comes up to his knees. Exactly what we're supposed to do in these positions here. Good job, Chase. Wrestling up.
Hey, yo, that's a sequence that I just taught a week and a half ago. We call it the Three Sisters. Some people call it the Three Amigos. But that transition back and forth between triangle, armbar, and the omoplata. I mean, that's something that if you understand where the body position is, you can go back and forth between those basically until you could either find the finish or you just cognitively fatigue your opponent into making the mistake and you capitalize on their mistake to get your finish.
Yeah, that's the big three there. If you get really good at those, you're going to catch one of them a lot of the time. We're going into the second overtime round. Chase has been pushing the pace the entire match. He can't settle now. He's been pushing the pace the entire match, but now he has to go even further. His back is taken. He can't rest here. He needs to start getting his back to the mat. He needs to look him in the eyes. He doesn't want to get stuck here. Good body triangle.
Body triangle secured there by Jamie Mullin. Chase getting the body triangle down to the mat. So that's going to alleviate some of the pressure of that lock. And then as he's starting to scrape the shoulders, that breaks open the body triangle.
Jamie doing a good job switching sides.
Jamie is going to start to try to look for that head and arm.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to come up here for that head and arm. I believe Chase threw the mouthpiece out.
Yeah, I think that it was starting to pop out of his mouth, and he just threw it in the process.
It out of there. He said, I don't want any of that.
Tremendous effort back and forth from both of these two combatants here today at CJJC 21 in our feature bout.
Really good match. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Chase just because he kept an amazing pace. I felt like he was leading the dance, and the slam is also a factor.
Your winner, out of the blue corner, Chase.
And congratulations to Chase DeGrood picking up a big unanimous decision victory here in his CJJC debut.